Hello students, welcome to disaster mitigation and management class. In the previous class we have studied about the disaster risk reduction. Under that we have got four measures, that is preparedness, mitigation, recovery and response. We have studied briefly about these four measures, and we have studied about the roles and responsibilities of Jilla Panchayat or block management. So right now we will be studying about the roles and responsibilities of the other organizations which comes under the disaster risk reduction. So right, roles of panchayat in reconstructing and long term mitigation planning. Under that we will study gram panchayat or at village level assist in identifying the victim for compensation and then its distribution, formulate reconstruction plans for houses, community buildings, roads, etc. within gram panchayat jurisdiction with the assistance of technical department at block and district level. Enforce minimum specification for safe construction. Help district and block level organizations in arranging awareness camps for management and mitigation of disaster. Ensure participation of the villagers. Organize village level task force or volunteers. Train them in counter disaster measures. Assist in supervising and monitoring reconstruction and development projects. Encourage local people to ensure assist or livestock, which should be mandatory for those who can afford, or else seek government help for those who are too poor and to afford insurance. Next one, block or mandal panchayat assist in rehabilitation, repair and reconstruction. Assist gram panchayats in identifying victims for the payment of compensation and in its distribution. So see here, whenever this type of disasters occurs, what happened in recent, what happened, the floods has been occurred and KCR has announced 10,000 amount for those who have been victims of these floods, but that has been carried out by our local bodies which comes under our constitution. So they will be knowing the what type of losses has been occurred, and they will be carrying this type of measures. Prepare village and block level mitigation plans. Consolidate integrate these with the block plan. Enforce minimum safety specifications for construction. Assist in long-term mitigation planning and its integration with block or district development plans. Supervise and monitor reconstruction and long-term mitigation projects implemented by gram panchayat and block panchayats. Jilla panchayat or district levels, planning and implementation of rehabilitation, repair and reconstruction, compensation for loss of life, property, etc. Hazards and vulnerability mapping, anti-disaster measures to be integrated in all development projects, special funding to use disaster resistant construction technologies in vulnerable areas. Roles of Panchayat Raj institutes, promote popular participation through an institutional framework, act as a catalyst to social mobilization process, tap the traditional wisdom of the local communities to complement the modern practices in disaster mitigation efforts, provide the base for integration of various concerns of the community with that of the non-governmental organizations, NGOs and community-based organizations which are engaged in various developmental activities at the grassroots levels, sensitize local communities and through them develop coping mechanism in disaster preparedness and mitigation measures, discuss and evolve strategies to manage crisis situations effectively. So what they are saying, non-governmental organizations, they will be getting the fundings from the private organizations, so that what they will be doing, they will be funding, they are involved in this DRR activity to reduce the disaster and making the people aware, and they utilize the organizational, what do you say, organizational, whichever the activities has been carried out. Ensure transparency and accountability in the mitigation efforts. Streamline activities like distributing immediate relief in the form of money, food grain, medical care, cloths, tents, vessels for drinking water and other necessities. Coordinate activities of restoration, rehabilitation and reconstruction. Act as the leaders to the community. Gather and analyze and disseminate information. Articulate community needs and expectations. Converge with the local and state, national and international organizations involved in disaster management. Form disaster management task forces. Arrange for emergency relief. Encourage damage appraisals, vulnerability assessment and risk reduction strategies. Organize awareness campaign and promote community educations on disaster preparedness. Activate disaster management plans. Provide for safe disposal of carcasses. So these are all the activities, these are all the awareness programs will carried out by the zonal panchayat, Zilla Panchayat and block management system. So these are all the activities, you people all know it very well. This is in a very simple one. So next one, arrange for safe drinking water and sanitization. Enforce minimum specifications for safe reconstruction. Supervise and monitor long-term disaster management projects. Mobilize funds and resource for disaster management. So roles of urban local bodies. The tasks includes maintaining of vehicle, sanitary facilities, food, shelter and rest facilities, relief and replacement, personals and emergency message, contact arrangement and logistics support, keeping unauthorized person out of the disaster area in order to prevent looting and decreasing congestion, hampering rescue efforts and preventing person from being injured in the wreckage. So what they will be doing whenever they are carrying this type of relief and replacement activities, at that moment unauthorized persons has not been ordered to enter the disaster area. There they can find any more what do you say very means different types of things he can found at that time, so that maybe they can be taking with them, so that preventing that person from looting and decreasing congestion, hampering rescue effort and preventing persons from being injured in the wreckage. So next one, handling the dead as a mass disposal poses many problems in disaster. Warning and communicating with the public, evacuating neighborhoods, coordinating with volunteers, acquiring and allocating unusual resources, dealing with livestock or family pets that had to be left behind, disposing unclaimed valuable or merchandise found in the rubble. So valuable things unclaimed which will be disposed and found in the rubble. Disbursing large amount of donations at the whenever the disaster occurs in the institutional basis and organizational basis, what they will be doing, they will be collecting the funds from the management or else any big institutional wherever the people are there. From that bodies they will be collecting the funds and they will be sending. The huge amount of funds will be collected and dispersed among the victims. So the government bodies will take a good measures whenever the disaster occurs, collecting the funds from the various organization or various institutes, maintaining hospital wards for emergency, controlling emergency vehicle traffic in order to avoid the blockage of routes by emergency vehicles, checking the hospitals, nursing homes and daycare centers that may need assistance, prioritizing utility sources delivery. Prioritizing utility sources means whatever the basic needs of the victims are there, means we have to take it into priority and we have to provide that utility sources, volunteers. Enhancing communication, that is a recurring challenge in a disaster response. If it does not enhance the communication system, what happens in disaster, that one will not be able to communicate whatever actually happening here to our DRR. Okay, sharing and collecting information on what agency have responded to and what resources they have they dispatched. Determining the resources needed to undertake counter disaster measures. Listen, this type of responses and this type of recoveries may take a very long period or a long time, because whenever the disaster occurs, controlling the people is a very difficult task, right? When we think this is a very big task which is carried out by our government, sharing information about the location, scope and character of the disaster and damage, locating and specifying procedures for obtaining special disaster resources, sharing information about the state of transportation, route facilities, docking and landing sites. Pandemics, epidemic and pandemics. Epidemic refers to a sudden increase in number of cases of a diseases above which is normally expected. Pandemic refers to an epidemic that has spread over several countries or continents, usually affecting a large number of people. So COVID is one among this pandemic. So right here we will be studying about the pandemics. Till now we have studied about the impact of disaster. Next we will be studying about the pandemics. Under that you will be getting an epidemic. Pandemic refers to an epidemic that has spread over several countries or continents, usually affecting a large number of people. The COVID has affected all countries around the world, right? That has been taken many people's life and many people's livelihood, as many people has lost their livelihood just due to the COVID pandemic. Generating and sharing predictions about weather conditions, obtaining information on how to deal with specific hazardous chemicals, state, center and other stakeholders. National Disaster Management Authority, these are the stakeholders. Indira Gandhi National Open University, state government, state disaster management authority, district disaster management authority, district administration, aims at training the participants who shall further help the community to undertake required tasks for effective disaster management. NDMA. The NDMA has the Prime Minister of India as its chairman. Other members of authorities not exceeding 9 are to be nominated by chairman. The chairman of the NDMA may designated on the member. National Disaster Management Authority may designate one of the member to be vice chairman of NDMA, Vice Chairman of NDMA as a status of Cabinet Minister and other members have a status of Ministers of State. NDMA has been assigned the responsibility of laying down policies, plan and guidelines for disaster management for ensuring timely and effective response to the disaster. So I have some assignment for you people, state, center and other stakeholders. I just need a brief information on this slide, what this type of, which type of activities has been carried by this, which type of authorities, and who is the names of the present 9 ministers under NDMA. Please kindly gather this information and let me know. IGNOU. IGNO is also doing extensive work in the area of disaster management, education and training. Faculty of Public Administration started a project on community awareness on disaster preparedness, CAPDP in 2000 in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. Objectives was to generate awareness on the different facets of disaster management among community members. The certificate and diploma courses on disaster management, rich component on disaster management in its master program in public administration. Faculty of Public Administration has undertaken serious research in disaster management, organized to national and international conferences on disaster management. Sorry, HIV, which has killed over 39 million people since 1982. The plague of Justine. So this all comes under the pandemics. This all comes under the pandemics. The HIV, which, so in the previous slide we have studied about the pandemics, epidemics, which causes the diseases like contagious that may spread to continents, countries, and that may cause huge human loss of life. HIV, which has killed over 39 million people since 1982. The plague of Justine of 541 AD was attributed to bubonic plague and wiped out half of the population of Europe, that is 25 million in 1 year. The Black Plague, which stretched from Asia to Europe, killed more than 75 million people from 1347 to 1353. So this plague, many people will tell why the Charminar has been constructed. Charminar has been constructed in memory of the many people has lost their life due to the plague occurred at that time. In memory of that lost people, this Charminar has been constructed. The first cholera pandemic of 1816 to 1824 extended from India to Indonesia and Russia, killing over 40 million. The Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 killed well over 50 million people in 1 year, including 675,000 Americans. The smallpox pandemic of the 20th century claimed between 300 to 500 million lives, as many as 50 million per year, until the development of Salk vaccine in 1955. Ongoing tuberculosis pandemic continues to kill over 1.5 million people annually. Our corona is also one of the pandemic. This has been continuing from the past 2019 till now. We have been losing many people's life and livelihood just due to this pandemic. In 1999, the World Health Organization WHO released the first very influenza pandemic preparedness plan, in which it outlined the appropriate response based on 6 clearly outlined phases. WHO stages of flu pandemic. So see here, a vaccine for COVID also has been released. So kindly take the vaccine, dears. That may not give us that just give us a may increase our immunity, but we can't prevent that, but we can just lesser the loss. Phase 1 is the period during which no animal virus are reported to cause infection in humans. Phase 2 is the first level of threat, wherein phase 3 is when sporadic cases or small clusters of diseases were confirmed, but human to human transmission has either not occurred or is to consider unlikely to sustain an outbreak. Phase 4 is the point where either human to human transmission or human animal virus has caused a community wide outbreak. Phase 5 is when human to human transmission of the virus has caused the spread of diseases to at least 2 countries. Phase 6 is the point at which the diseases is declared a pandemic having spread from one country to another. The time frame of each phase can vary from months to decades. Not all will progress to phase 6. What is actually phase 6? Is the point at which the disease is declared as a pandemic having spread from one country to another country. Under phase 6 only our COVID-19 will come. Not all will progress to phase 6, and some may even revert if a virus spontaneously weakens. What is actually a complex emergency? Any situation in which the lives and well-being of children are at such risk. So children are at such risk means our wave 3. Under wave 3, the children's below 10 years or children's above the 10 years are at high risk. Such risk that extraordinary action, that is urgently required action beyond that routinely provided, must be mobilized to ensure their survival, protection and well-being. Such complex emergencies are typically categorized by extensive violence and loss of life, massive displacement of people, widespread damages to society and economies, the need for large-scale multi-phased humanitarian assistance, the hindrance or prevention of humanitarian assistance by political and military constraints, significant security risk for humanitarian relief workers in some area, this is a case study, escaping to Bangladesh from Myanmar. During 2007, more than 600,000 people fled to Bangladesh to escape the violence of a complex emergency in Myanmar. These people, most of whom identify a Rohingya ethnic group, joined 300,000 others who have sought refuge in Bangladesh in recent years. World Vision Bangladesh quickly provided humanitarian assistance in informal camps in and around the Bangladesh. So what they are saying, escaping whenever this type of pandemic has occurred, escaping to Bangladesh from Myanmar. So in 2007, more than 600,000 people fled to Bangladesh to escape the violence of complex emergency in Myanmar. In conjunction with the government of Bangladesh and United Nations World Food Programme, World Vision focused on providing life-saving assistance, including emergency food rations, cooking utensils and shelters, and addressing needs for water and sanitization and hygiene. World Vision also responded to needs of mother and children by providing baby products, addressing human needs such as safe toilets and bathing space, and establishing child-friendly spaces where children get support from the trauma they experienced. So World Vision is a charity working to improve the lives and futures of children in need. Syrian people displaced in their own country. The complex emergency in Syria begins in 2011 and has a dramatic effect on people and their human rights. Since this time, more than 400,000 people have been killed, many more injured, and 5.4 million people have fled to other countries. Of those people who have remained in Syria, 45% have been displaced from their homes and community. By 2016, 85% of Syrians were living in poverty, most as a result of complex emergency. Destruction of water system results in 70% of Syrian peoples not having enough drinking water. Limited sanitation and rubbing disposals meant there was a high risk of illness caused by dirty water, rats and insects. World Vision has helped the people of Syria is through a partnership with the New Zealand government. This partnership has provided access to safe drinking water, sanitary toilets and rubbing removal services for people living in camps and informal settlements in North Syria. Syria now also they are facing many problems. Flooding South Sudan for Uganda. These are all the fleeing South Sudan for Uganda. Then these are all the case studies. More than 4 million South Sudanese people have fled their homes and 6 million don't have enough food to eat due to complex emergency in South Sudan. The world's youngest nation, South Sudan, gained independence from Sudan in 2011. In 2013, South Sudan government coalition collapsed with a rift growing between the president and vice president who represent different political parties and ethnic group. This erupted into the conflict along ethnic lines, which quickly splintered into the various factions and armed groups, endangering the population. 1 million South Sudanese people have fled for their lives into neighboring Uganda, with 650 more crossing the boundary each day. It is estimated that 61% are children. Gilbert Kamanga, World Village Uganda country director, says every day World Vision is registering more than 100 separated and unaccompanied minors. So kindly, this is the recent issue. I want one case study on this. This I will give you in your this one assignment. In Uganda, World Vision partnered with United Nations agencies to assist people in Adjumania, Aria, Koboko, Moyo and Yumbi districts. New arrival at the World Vision managed response for people arriving in Uganda received emergency food as well as cooking sets, blankets and monthly food packed or cash allowance. World Vision staff supported children who have become separated from their families, connected them with foster care and provided psychological support through child-friendly spaces. In addition, World Vision drilled boreholes and constructed sanitization facilities to prevent sickness. Alongside this emergency response, World Vision planned for rehabilitation, resilience and self-reliance through a strategy of helping communities establish agriculture, learn vocational skills and access credit to establish small business. So right, this is all for today. I will send you the assignment questions along with the notes. So kindly write all the assignment. Thank you. So right, kindly write the assignment and follow the videos. Please do not tell me that I did not follow the videos and I did not check all the videos. You please check the videos, then only you will be coming to know which type of questions and which type of assignment I has given, right? Please kindly follow the videos. Thank you.